Welcome back to another instalment of New Zealand's Bird of the Week, where in this video I will be talking about the tui, raucous and brightly coloured songbirds that have among the most complicated and astounding songs of any bird in the country. I hope you enjoy. Tui look black from a distance, and otherwise seem unimpressive colour-wise, but up close and in good light, have a stunning array of blues, greens and bronze iridescent sheens. At around 30 centimetres in length and weighing around 90 through 125 grams in weight, they are a good amount larger than bellbirds, and are among the largest honeyeaters, the group to which they belong, with them indeed being confirmed to be their closest relatives based on genetic analysis, which showed that they diverged from a lineage that gave rise to both the New Zealand and Chatham bellbirds around 5 million years ago. Their nape and sides of their necks have filamentous and lacy white feathers that appear to give them some kind of collar, with additional two curled white feather tufts being found on their throats, which are known as poi, which puff out loosely from their neck like an ascot or two baubles. Their English name of parson birds, which has since fallen into disuse, came about because at first glance settlers saw them as being completely black from afar, aside from their white neck feathers and small white wing patch, which caused them in their minds to therefore resemble a parson in religious attire. In terms of size, male birds are larger than females, and are also more aggressive, with there also being a Chatham Island subspecies, which is larger on average, also being heavier. Older, more dominant male birds have notched wingtips similar to bellbirds, which allow them to beat the air more heavily and thereby creating a loud whirring sound, which helps in intimidating rivals. As so-called honeyeaters, nectar is their normal diet, with them using their long and strong beaks to reach deep into native flowers, and lapping up nectar with the brush-tipped tongues, and will take from a variety of both native and introduced flowers, something also assisted by their low foreheads. Tui, alongside bellbirds, also play a very important role in the dynamics of New Zealand forests, as they are one of the most common pollinators of flowering plants, and also help in the dispersing of seeds, which have medium-sized fruits. Some flowers are even similar in shape to that of their beaks, a key example of mutualistic coevolution. The anthers of each flower species deposits pollen on a specific area of the bird's head, and then, after they fly off to another flower of the same species, a stigma-tipped style will brush on the same spot, picking up the pollen and allowing for fertilization and seed production to occur afterwards. They will further supplement their nectar diets with large invertebrates like cicadas and stick insects when they get the chance, jumping and thrashing around on plants to disturb them. Particularly popular is the New Zealand flax, the nectar of which is known to occasionally ferment, which results in tui being seen flying in a fashion that appears to suggest that they are drunk in some way. Birds, especially the males, are very aggressive, chasing all ranges of bird species, large and small, from their food sources or territories, utilising both their loud flapping and grunting noises, akin to human speech, to do so. They will also often fluff up their body feathers to appear far larger, with them being known to even mob predators of theirs like harriers and falcons, sometimes doing so in groups. They have been noted to sometimes be mobbed themselves and even killed by companies of blackbirds or starlings, although tui will also do the same when they get the chance. When interspecific competition, conflicts amongst different species occurs regarding food resources among New Zealand's honeyeater and honeyeater adjacent species, tui form the top of the hierarchy, with bellbirds being subordinate, and the smaller hihi, though not a honeyeater themselves, being more relegated to the undergrowth. They have also been known to be very agile flyers due to their preferred habitat of dense forest, being noted to be able to keep pace while chasing welcome swallows out of their territories, birds being very well known for being notably quick at turning. Their song is among one of the most notable traits, being very remarkable in their range and the performances they can give. They are generally very vocal, utilising a complicated mix of tuneful notes, which are accompanied by less elegant coughs, wheezes and grunts, which is quite similar to bellbirds, being often confused, although theirs is more fluid and lacks much of the varied coughs and wheezes of tui. Their huge range of sounds is down to their 9 muscle-paired syrinx, normally controlled with 2 sets of muscles in non-passerine birds, that along with their unusual dual voice box, allows them to create the range of sounds we can both hear and not hear. A good amount of their song appears to range beyond the human register, with birds huffing and hunching in silence between chord progressions, as if extracting new notes from deep within themselves before breaking back into song. This silent gap is when tui reach ultrasonic notes and, for these few seconds, sing a melody that humans are unable to hear. This is clear to be observed when gaps in their song appear when their beaks are agape and their throat tufts moving. Male birds have also been noticed to have a much larger repertoire of syllables, which appears to be a result of sexually selected traits linked both to genetic diversity and the ability to defend higher quality territories. Tui, like people, have also been found to have differing regional accents, with differences being found both by researchers and listeners alike, if they know where to look. They are incredibly adept mimics, and can recreate extremely specific sounds, including car alarms, classical music, glass shattering, and even advertising jingles, with one tui up in Inglewood, Taranaki, being able to perfectly match the tune of the Pizza Hut jingle. In the past, Maori tribes kept them in cages and trained them to repeat welcome speeches that in some cases went up to 70 words in length, even trimming their brush-tipped tongues to help them speak more clearly. Maori stories have also been told of tui being trained so well that they became famous amongst local tribes, and were sometimes even fought over. This can be seen today with a particularly notable case of a tui known as Woof Woof, who was rescued after at 5 days old falling from his nest and being wedged in a crook of a tree. He was found and later nursed back to health by the founders of the Whangarei Native Bird Recovery Centre, Robert and Robin Webb, who gave him a permanent aviary at the centre rather than releasing him back into the wild, since one of his wings had never fully healed, and he would have almost certainly been killed by a predator if he was, if not by other tui. 2 years later, Robert was cleaning his aviaries when a similar gruff voice, similar to his own, called out, "Hello, Woof Woof." Robert was initially very confused, wondering what on earth had happened, before eventually realising that it was the tui himself saying it, apparently coming up with his own name. He quickly came to learn several other phrases, as will be played shortly, including "come up here, quick," "where have you been," and even "Merry Christmas," with the latter being noted to have only been brought back into his repertoire a week or two before the festive season.
Hello, Woof Woof. Hello, Woof. Hello, Woof Woof. Oh, you're pretty clever, all right, aren't you? He was about 2 years old, and I was cleaning the aviary one Sunday afternoon here. And all of a sudden this voice said, "Hello, Woof Woof." And I looked round, what the heck was that? And then I did it again, and I realised it was him talking. His bird was something like, "Come let me out. It's cold."
How's my cold? Hey?
It's cold. Kiss. Come up here. Quick. Do you want to swim? Look at these. Hello, Swampy.
Quick.
Yep.
G'day.
Hey? It's cold. Come up here.
Quick.
Do you want to swim? Come up here. Hey? Do you want up here? That's there out for 6 there at Christmas song. And for sure, 6 bears coming out for smoke. Something about a beer and coming out for a smoke. Yeah. And that's shrimp there, coming out for smoke. You being silly, Woof Woof? Yeah, coming out for smoke. Hey? Do you want to swim? Yep. He's shrimp there is coming to his bird coming out for smoke. There's cold. There's cold. Hello, Woof Woof. Kiss. Come up here. Quick. There's cold. Come up here. Come on. Where's the backside? Yep. Hey?
He was even noted to being able to respond to residents about his past falling out of his tree and breaking his wing, as well as responding in conversations with the yep without hesitation. He could also recognise what birds were next to him and what their names were.
Where's the carteret thieves? Yep, come up here. Where's the backside? Where's the carteret thieves?
After his passing in 2011, the other 2 tui who spent time with him have also been able to pick up his talking prowess, and still continue to call out to him even though he has since passed. From this, it's clear to see that tui could well be one of the most intelligent and socially literate birds on Earth, with comparisons being similar to parrots and corvids. When it comes to their breeding and territory management, birds will perform mating displays where they will rise at speed in a vertical climb before then stalling and dropping into a powered dive, and then repeating, something also seen with the unrelated kereroo. Females will build their nests in a rough, bulky structure out of twigs and sticks, which are lined with fine grasses high in the canopy. Their eggs are laid from September to January, with their clutches being 2 to 4 white to pale pink eggs, which are both incubated and brooded by the female alone. The chicks are initially only fed by the females, although males will later help to feed them. They are found all throughout New Zealand, with them preferring broadleaf forests at low altitudes, although they have been recorded at altitudes of up to 1,500 metres, and will also venture into exotic plantations and sufficiently vegetated suburbs if present in good enough numbers, this being a key example in Wellington, where they are among the most common birds seen. Birds move around a good deal locally, with them following a seasonal succession of both fruiting and flowering plants, being able to commute more than 10 kilometres daily to feed on nectar. Populations have however declined considerably since European settlement, mostly as a result of habitat clearance and predation by introduced mammals, although they have made a comeback in some areas. They have increased 8-fold in the capital city of Wellington after both the creation of the predator-free sanctuary of Zealandia, alongside extensive predator control across the region, with them also increasing an astounding 367% in South Canterbury from 2011 through to 2021 after reintroductions to Banks Peninsula appearing to have been successful. Tui are one of the few endemic birds to have not only survived but thrived well in the presence of people, and are among the most well-known and frequently seen birds, whereas so many others either currently remain far off in the country's remotest of corners and offshore islands, although hopefully this changes for these birds, so that they can join the tui in most of the country once again. And with that, I thank you for watching this instalment of New Zealand's Bird of the Week. For next time, you are now able to vote for the Whenua diving petrel, birds that with their short rounded wings and tails are well designed for diving activities, as well as flight. With that, I'll see you next time, whenever that may be.